Hi, and welcome to Talk to Josh. And it's great that you are my listeners. You have joined me today. And today I want to talk to you about Reiki. What does Reiki mean, and how does Reiki help us in our everyday life in terms of our spiritual, physical, and emotional well being? So today I have a wonderful Reiki practitioner, Lisa Harris. She's going to join us, and together we are going to explore how Reiki and its principle can help us to understand who we are, our self healing, and what it involves managing our stress in everyday life, and the principle of what Reikiness is. So, Lisa, welcome to Talk to Josh. How are you?
Josh, very well, Josh. Thanks. How are you?
Not bad. It's great that you've joined me today and my listeners. So, Lisa, before we start talking about what
Mhm.
Reiki is, do you just want to tell us before you became a Reiki practitioner, what
Yeah.
kind of career path did you have?
I used to work as a fashion model. Worked in Europe, Milan, Paris, as a catwalk model, and I had a 2-year contract with Mattel as the Barbie spokeswoman, lookalike. I did a lot of TV work, radio work, so that sort of thing, really.
That's really interesting. So, when you were a supermodel or model, how did you find that?
I loved it. I loved it. But then I got married and had children, so I finished. But I did it, and I did it really well. So
I know
yeah,
so some of my listeners might recognize you, but in terms of starting, doing modeling at an early age, what
yeah.
was it like for you in terms of pressure, the expectation? What was it like?
Well, being quite shy, that was a difficult one. To actually walk up and down a catwalk and be, stared at, that was quite tricky. There's a lot of pressure to look the right way. There's a lot of pressure to be thin, either too tall, too blonde, too fat, too dark, too short, too something. So you develop a hard skin. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your strategy in managing all that and the expectation?
Well, at first I found it really tricky, but you just get used to it. You really just get used to it.
Would you say you're quite a resilient person?
Yeah, very resilient. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So then,
definitely.
from that, having a successful career as a model, so what initially drew you to become a Reiki practitioner, and what was your journey like?
Um, well, I kept seeing it. I kept seeing it on social media. I kept reading about it, and I just thought, oh, I'm going to look into that. Um, I think also in connection with, I don't drink. I'm actually 13 years sober. So to
Congratulations.
thank you. So to do that, to become sober for so long, I go to recovery meetings, and there's a 12, sorry, I can't speak today, 12-step spiritual
Congrats.
program, which sort of ties in with the Reiki thing. So I just thought I'm going to learn about that, and I did, and now it's my job. That's what I do for a
Great.
living.
Do you know what? Can I just ask you quickly something then? When you said that when you identified you was drinking quite a lot and then you went to for recovery with AA, how did you know it was time to change? What was your magic moment to say, actually, this is not good for me?
Well, it was taking over my life. I wasn't spending enough time with my children. I wasn't really having a proper life. It just
Yeah.
revolved around alcohol, sort of buying it, drinking it, and hiding it towards the end. And it was really, really affecting me, and it was affecting my children, my two children who I adore. So, yeah, it was time to stop. It was really
Oh,
time to.
and for listeners out there who may have experienced that or know someone who's experienced it, what advice would you give in terms of getting them to become more self-aware and say, actually, I need help?
Well, for me, I couldn't admit at first that I had a problem with it because I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm a single parent. There's a stigma attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being a female, there's a stigma attached to it as well. I also, I thought I'm going to miss it if I stop drinking. I can't stop. I just can't stop.
Mm.
So I went to a few AA meetings, and to be honest, at first I didn't think it was for me. But
Yeah.
I went there. I made a few friends. I felt more and more comfortable, and I just took it from there.
So, listen, thank you for sharing that. That's a wonderful that you shared with us, because it shows that you're quite determined and quite focused and resilient,
Yeah.
because it's not easy, because as all of us know, alcohol or drugs or any other kind of addiction that we have, it is a disease, and there are help out there. If you
Yeah.
need help, you can talk to your doctor, your GP, friends and families, and don't suffer in silence. What is really important is, once you acknowledge that there is an issue, there is support network out there. At least
Yeah.
is a perfect example of someone who identified and said, like, actually, this is not good for me or my family. And what I need to do is get help. So please, go out there, do not suffer in silence. Going back to your Reiki, so what would you say are the principle behind Reiki?
The principle behind Reiki. Well,
Yeah,
every living being has energy. So every plant, every animal, every person has energy. And sometimes that gets out of kilter, out of whack.
yeah,
So Reiki resets it. There's different energy points up and down the body. So there's seven. So there's the crown,
yeah,
third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, root, and their energy points are called chakras. You've probably heard of that word.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And each chakra governs mental health or physical health. And the Reiki practitioner or master, I'm actually a master teacher now, does a light touch on each of the energy points to reset the energy.
And so when do you feel when your chakras are imbalanced, is that when people feel, there's because of stress or the environment they live in, or their work, and when it imbalances, is that when it starts impacting physically and mentally their
Yeah,
well-being?
yeah. I
So,
mean, I can just give them more energy. It works on mental health as well, addiction. Any mental or physical ailments it helps with. It
mm,
can improve confidence, it can improve motivation, work on the immune system. So,
yeah.
yeah, really, really good.
So at the moment, when you do Reiki, do you tailor your session for each individual in terms of their needs?
Absolutely. I mean, I work in a rehab as well. I work at Delamere Rehab, which is purpose-built rehab in Northwich in Cheshire.
Okay.
So I work there. So obviously I tailor it for people with addiction, but I have my private Reiki practice in Winslow and sometimes on Harley Street in London as well. So I get everything from ladies suffering with fertility issues to bad backs to immune system to they want more motivation, focus, energy, the full gamut of physical and mental health issues.
And as a Reiki practitioner, how do you protect yourself from then an energy that's imbalance or negative energy? What is your way of practicing that?
I can self Reiki. I can Reiki myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just a conduit to realign the energy. It's not actually my energy I'm giving them. So
Mm. So what you're saying is that is people's energy, you're redirecting and balancing them. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So if people wanted to get in touch with you, how what would be the best way to do that?
Via Facebook, Instagram. I've got a website, which maybe we put on the end of this.
Okay. So in terms of working with do you do just individuals, or do you do any group work, group Reiki?
Well, I'm a Reiki master, but I'm a Reiki master teacher now. So I've just become that in the past 2 weeks. So I'm hoping to do group sessions of Reiki to teach people how to Reiki themselves,
Yeah.
them the different levels of Reiki, so they can go on to be a Reiki master or a Reiki master teacher. Just
So,
to raise awareness of it, really.
yeah. And what would you say to those people who are quite skeptical, say, well, it's mumbo jumbo, we don't believe in that. What kind
Oh,
of, healing?
come try it.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I think unless you try it and you see the benefit, then you can't really make an assumption about it, isn't it?
I mean, do get some skeptical clients, obviously, but
Yeah.
99% of them come back.
Mm. But when you work in the rehab units, right? So do you do a lot of Reiki with the individual clients?
Yes, yeah, I work there 1, 2 days a week, and
Yeah.
of course, they all suffer from various addictions and ailments, but it's all confidential. So yeah, I see all sorts of. I love working there. All sorts of weird and wonderful characters. Yeah, all sorts of different people from different backgrounds, different.
Yeah.
I mean, the stories they tell me just amazing. Yeah.
And that's right, because with stress and anxiety or any mental health issues, it does not see your race, gender, color, sexuality, or income, because all of us can be impacted.
Yeah.
And I do strongly I believe that when your chakras are imbalanced, they have detrimental impact on your performance as an individual, be it at work, in your relationship with yourself, with your family and your friends. Because if you're not feeling well, then you can't perform. So do you get clients who come to you and say, "Do you know what? There's something here. I just can't
Yeah.
get out of it." So
Mm. Yeah.
when you
Good people who are just, yeah, like you say, there's something they just can't put their finger on it. They need more
yeah.
motivation, energy, focus. They've just lost it a little bit, and they just need a reset and to get that momentum back so they can go and run their business again.
And do you feel at the moment in society now, because there's so much pressure, like the media, the expectation, or from man, woman to transgender to youth to growing up, that we are all facing unbearable stress, and this is having impact on our chakras.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so stressful to live at this time. It really is. That's one of my addiction and stress are my main things that I deal with every day with my
Mm.
clients. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and addiction, yeah. We all of us are addicted to something.
Yes.
Addiction doesn't have to be. When we talk about addiction, we're not talking about just drugs and alcohol. You can be addicted to coffee. You can be. Some people are addicted to just eating quite a lot. Some people are addicted to shopping.
Shopping, social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Sugar.
one of the most important addiction that all of us have now in modern society is the media, in terms of TikTok, Facebook, or the social media. I don't think people see that as addiction, but that is an addiction, isn't it?
It is. It changes people's lives. It
Yeah.
really does. I mean, social media, how they look, how they come across.
Yeah.
How many times do you see somebody photographing their food in a restaurant? It's
Yeah.
just
Boring.
takes over your life.
Oh, I mind, as you know, Lisa, we spoke so many
Yeah.
times about the influencers, and I always say to people when I'm coaching, look, these people who are influencers, who are telling you they got a perfect life, this is the way, it's not true. They are selling you some dream that which they don't even have. So always listen to your own heart and your own thoughts and your own feelings. Don't let other people influence you in terms of what's the expectation is. And I
Yeah.
always say, don't let people rent a space in your mind, because they're not your tenants. Yeah. Let
Yeah.
you, be control of your mind, your thoughts, your feeling. Because if you let other people take control of that, it can have a major impact in terms of where you see yourself and your perception of life. But going back to Reiki,
Mm.
uh, how would you say, because I think Reiki, because as you know, I practice Reiki a little bit myself. Do you think
Mm.
we should start Reiki and stuff like that in early age in schools to
I
help
think,
young people?
yeah, I don't think enough people know about it. And
Yeah,
also mental health, there's still that stigma, that shame attached to, if you feel depressed, you can't get out of bed in the morning,
yeah,
you've got that cloud hanging over you. Not enough people say it.
yeah, and I think it's something that needs to be more out there in terms of information, to share with people, to show the benefits. Reiki is like, I always say to people, look, Reiki is like, say you're doing any form of meditation or exercise. It's all about healing yourself, isn't it? Anything that helps you to feel better,
Yeah,
perform better, isn't that a really good thing to take on?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I meditate every day. I feel weird if I don't do it.
yeah,
Twice, if possible. Get out in nature, walk, appreciate whatever season it is. I know it's cold at the moment, but just
yeah.
get rapid out there.
So as a Reiki practitioner, what is the one advice you'd give to someone who is skeptical of Reiki practice?
I say it can't do you any harm. Come and try it. I've never had any complaints, and they always come back.
Yeah,
They always,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, listen, Lisa, it's been absolutely fascinating talking to you, and thank you for joining me as we are coming to it. And is there anything else you'd like to add before we finish the show, and to summarize, before I summarize our show? Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just look after your mental health. Try Reiki, do meditation, get out in nature, and just get off your phone and just get off social media and just
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And listen, if anybody wants to contact Lisa in terms of finding out information, please, she's on Facebook, Lisa Harris, or you can find her on Instagram.
Lisa
You know,
111 on Instagram, on Facebook, and
yeah.
my website there as well.
Do you want to just repeat your website again? What was your website?
My website's Lisa Harris Reiki 111. It's on Instagram and it's on Facebook as well.
Dear listeners, it's come to the time to say goodbye till next Thursday, and thank you for joining me and Lisa for exploring and having discussion around Reiki and the benefit of Reiki. As usual, thank you for joining us, and I'd like to thank you for joining me and Lisa on this wonderful evening. Till next week, have a great evening, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.